guys, so my name is Carly, and I am new to the whole YouTube blogging deal. I used to have an old account that was just for jokes. But anyways, I figured I'd start a new one, mainly in retrospect to diabetes, specifically type 1 diabetes, since I am a type 1 diabetic. So, I figured you can never have too many of these. Essentially, it's a support page, an awareness page, life every day with diabetes. So, I figured I'm in school right now, and I'm also working 2 part-time jobs. I love to travel. I'm in fact going to be going on a big trip to South Africa in July/August this summer. And I went on a big trip last year to Australia and New Zealand, and I kind of wanted to just use this channel as a way of showing that you can still live your life with type 1 diabetes. Yes, I'm not going to lie, it's far more difficult, but it's definitely doable. So, to start off with, I just kind of want to give you a little bit of a background info on me. I apologize, I look like crap. I took off all my makeup, and it's the end of the day. I'm tired. Still have homework to do. I have an 8 a.m. lab tomorrow, so woohoo. Anyways, so my name is Carly. I was diagnosed with diabetes, thankfully, later than most people in life. I was 18 years old when I was diagnosed. I have not had it for very long in comparison to a lot of people out there. I'm very thankful for that, and not to say that it's, like, of course I'm thankful for that, why wouldn't you be? I'm very thankful that I didn't have to worry about blood sugars when I was growing up and hanging out with my friends. I'm very thankful I didn't have to have my mom and dad do everything for me. So I'm very thankful that I was diagnosed at an age where I was independent enough and responsible enough to take care of the diabetes on my own. So I've had diabetes only for a little over a year, and I know it doesn't sound like very long, but once you've had it, it honestly feels like you've had it forever. And I know I shouldn't say that because there are people who have had it pretty much for forever, and they're the ones who can say it. But anyways, so I wanted to use this page as like a support and questions, but also if I have any questions or things that I'm not too sure about, it's awesome getting feedback from other people. So I know it's probably going to take me a while to get any viewers for this, if not any at all, but I figured, what the hell, why not? So, like I said, my name is Carly. I was diagnosed with diabetes when I was 18 years old. I've had diabetes for a little over a year, and I've done quite a few really big things and cool things with my diabetes so far. So, to start off with, I was diagnosed when I was 18. I had the usual symptoms that everyone seems to have. I lost 20 pounds within a month and a half, which was a drastic weight loss for me. I was very underweight. I was drinking excess water. I was peeing a lot, which happens. I'm going to kind of go into details that you may not want to know about, but if you are having these symptoms, I feel it's very important to talk about. I had about, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell, 2 inches, no, more like an inch of foam on top of my pee before I was diagnosed. This was excess sugars in my bloodstream because my blood sugars were so high and my body wasn't producing enough insulin to bring my blood sugars down. Instead, the sugar stayed in my bloodstream and I would end up having to pee out some of the blood sugars, just like many of you would have had before you were diagnosed. I was absolutely miserable. I was awful to be around, awful to my family, awful to my boyfriend. I was just not delightful, and respectively so. My body was going through a big change and not a healthy one, and so it was a hard time. It was very hard. So finally, it was in January, towards the end of January last year, and I couldn't breathe. There was about 2 weeks where I was Like, I just couldn't get a satisfying breath. And so I figured I was having an asthma attack, because I also have asthma, which sucks, but whatever. So it seemed like that would be most likely the issue. So I could not breathe. And finally, I went upstairs. I was supposed to be going to work. I told my dad, you need to take me to the hospital right now. And I think I'm having an asthma attack. So he drove me to the hospital. I sit and emerge for a little bit. They do all the testing and stuff. Then they bring me to the back and they say, all right, we're going to check your blood. They did a chest x-ray and they made me pee in a cup. Before the chest x-ray results came back or the blood sample came back, the guy only had to look at my pee in the cup and he knew exactly what was the matter. It's amazing how just one simple thing like that can almost diagnose you. And the guy walked into my room, and I'll never forget, I was doped up on asthma medication because they initially, as well as myself, thought that that was what the problem was. And not fully there. And the guy comes and walks up to me and he says, I'm pretty sure you have type 1 diabetes. And I wasn't comprehending much. And so I just sat there in shock. My dad's sitting next to me in the bed or in the chair, just like, what? Like, this is a joke? And finally, they confirmed the diagnosis. They put me on IV fluids right away because I was severely dehydrated. They hooked me up to insulin. I wasn't allowed to eat anything for about 2 days because they needed to bring my sugars down. Compared to what a lot of people's were, mine was not very high, but compared to being healthy, it was still life critical. I was at about a 30, it was more like 29.6 millimoles per liter, so I'm not too sure what that would be in for the States. It's measured in millidecaliters, I'm pretty sure, so that would be somewhere in the 300s or so, I'm not too sure. But anyways, it was painfully high, and so finally I got my diagnosis. After a few days of being in the hospital, I got out. And remarkably, I was not going to let the diabetes hold me back. As much as I wanted to, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it, and with type 1 diabetes, you can't just gradually get into it. You gotta be on that insulin. You have to learn how to inject yourself right away. You have to learn how to poke your finger right away. There's no gradual ease into it. It's just bam, in your face. You need to learn. It's your lifeline. You're gonna die if you don't learn how to do this or be severely unhealthy. And so I figured I would go on a big trip. Why not? With my boyfriend. About 2.5 months after I was diagnosed, or maybe 3. So I went on a big trip to Australia and New Zealand. Of course, my blood sugars were a bit of a roller coaster, but for the most part, they were actually very stable. Thankfully, I was still in honeymoon phase, and for those of you who don't know what that means, it means your body is still producing approximately 10% of the insulin that a normal person's body would be producing. And so that helped keep me at fairly stable levels. But in the past, I want to say 3 months now, I've officially left honeymoon phase. I can definitely tell because my blood sugars are like this, and therefore my mood swings are like this. And yeah. So I'm going to kind of leave it off there for now. I want to try and post as many videos as possible, informative, so I'm sure no one's going to be watching these quite yet, but in the rare chance someone does and they have any questions for me, please leave a question in the comments box below, and I'd be happy to answer it in my next video, or just reply to it, but I'll try with my next video. So, thank you very much for listening. I hope I get a couple people to watch my channel, and if you ever have any questions or just need support, I'm here. So many other people are here. Take that support. We're here for each other. There's nothing we can do for it right now, but just be strong and do our best. So, yeah, I hope this channel helps, and I'm excited for my future videos to come. Alright, cheers!